and another coach at the belt, speaking about Shadur Sanders and his offense. Now, we know the Browns' offense cannot get going in any shape, form, or fashion. It is pretty much a nightmare out there for this team. Now, Tommy Rees spoke with the media today and let some cats out the bag.
Put together a good plan, starting with Kevin and then pouring through the rest of the staff to make sure that those guys feel prepared to go play on Sunday.
The Browns offensive coordinator just dropped a truth bomb bigger than a Super Bowl commercial budget. Turns out Shadur Sanders isn't riding the bench for the reason you think. Nope, it's way juicier, way dumber, and somehow involves more drama than a reality show on draft day.
Is there anything to this Shedeur not getting first team reps?
I think it's a little bit strange.
Yeah.
You know?
You do think it? So you think
yeah,
it is?
I mean,
okay.
the guy's
All right.
one turned ankle from one concussion check from upstairs. Drake May had to leave the game for 2 plays last week because the upstairs they thought he had a concussion.
Right.
So how could he not get 1 rep during the week? Now, just because that's the answer doesn't mean that's what's happening, but that struck me.
So you weren't buying what he was saying about, Dylan did because Flacco.
No, I buy that. I buy that he was telling mostly the truth there.
The Browns offense currently feels like a group presentation where everyone forgot the slides, and the only student who actually prepared, Shadur Sanders, got told to sit quietly in the corner.
You have to maximize opportunities even if there aren't a ton of reps to go around. You got to be creative with how you create some extra reps, specifically to get Shedeur ready if you can't get a bunch of reps there. So the good news is both guys are bought in and doing a good job of working hard and understanding how important those opportunities are, to be ready for the team. So it is a unique situation. I don't know how many times it's probably happened, but probably not a lot. And we have the right 2 guys mentally right now in their demeanor and how they're prepping and how they're coming to work every day.
Once again, a coach steps up to clarify the chaos, and this time it's Tommy Rees, trying to sound composed while the fan base collectively loses oxygen. Now, according to Rees, everything is fine.
Why aren't you getting any reps with the ones at any point?
I don't think that's not my place, to answer, to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control. So I'm not even going to think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, it's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is, it is.
Totally fine. Nothing to see here. Just your usual week of film study, collaboration, and trusting the process. Except that process looks like a blender full of broken plays, questionable throws, and a passing game allergic to touchdowns.
Kevin Stefanski says Shadur Sanders is not getting any first-team reps like Dylan Gabriel, like Dylan Gabriel did when Joe Flacco was the starter. Stefanski said it's because Gabriel being young, you want to make sure he's getting a lot of reps. It's different when you have a vet like Joe. Ocho, what you think? Is this normal protocol?
Hell nah, you know that ain't normal protocol. You should be doing the same exact thing you were doing with Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Now, if Dylan Gabriel is starter, you should be doing the same thing you were doing with Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco with goddamn Shedeur.
The Browns keep calling it a system, but if this is a system, it's one powered by confusion and expired Gatorade. Rees stood there, doing that coach thing, saying a lot while saying absolutely nothing. Every answer sounded like it had been approved by 3 lawyers, 2 interns, and a PR ghostwriter. He talked about teamwork, communication, rhythm, all the usual buzzwords coaches use when they've run out of excuses.
Luxury of getting starting experience, Shedeur. You have to learn from Dylan's experience. You don't get first-hand experiential knowledge. All you get is auditory knowledge, and all you get is visual knowledge. You do not get experiential knowledge, and you have to be good enough to win with that. Shedeur's a 5th-round pick, bro. 5th-round picks aren't getting first-team reps.
The starter is not taking no damn 12 reps in a row. The backup always gets reps. He should be getting reps. You want Dylan Gabriel to develop because he's your starter.
Exactly.
But you also want Shadur Sanders to develop because he's 1 play away now.
Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders is standing on the sideline, wondering how next man up somehow skipped his name entirely. You can tell Rees is new to the chaos because he still sounds hopeful. He's talking about putting players in the right spots, building chemistry, making the quarterback comfortable. But Cleveland doesn't do it comfortably. This is a franchise that could make a playoff push feel like a panic attack.
I want more sport commentators to hate on Shadur Sanders. I really do. I want all the Rex Ryans of the world to keep on going. Keep talking shit about Shedeur. Keep shit talking this man to the ends of the earth. Because when he gets his chance to shine, When he gets in that game and scores his first ever NFL official touchdown, oh, he's finna talk so much shit.
Every week is a new science experiment. What if we mix more play calling changes with slightly less logic? And when he mentioned using the bye week to improve areas that need improvement, the entire fan base collectively rolled their eyes so hard they saw next season. Improvement? The only thing improving is the level of confusion. The more they reset, the more it looks like someone unplugged the entire offense and forgot where the charger went.
You know what? It doesn't make sense that he's a second string now and he's not getting any first team reps. It also doesn't make sense that he's not being considered to play any games this year, regardless of what we've been hearing. But this is the first time I've actually heard something that has to do with the planning and the development of any of the Browns quarterbacks, especially when it comes to Shedeur. They are being honest. Well, he is being honest. Tommy Rees is being honest with saying that, like, look, he's not going to get a ton of looks, but we're going to maximize whatever we give him.
Now, here's the kicker. Beneath all the polite coach talk, there's a quiet confession hiding in plain sight. Rees talked about making the quarterback feel comfortable, about not forcing the game plan, about collaboration and chemistry. Translation, they don't want to rock the boat, and Shadur Sanders is the boat rocker they're terrified of. See, Shedeur isn't the problem. He's the threat. The shiny, fast, headline-generating rookie who might actually work, which is exactly what Cleveland doesn't want right now.
All that is telling me is that Shedeur is not closer to getting the starting job until Dillon Gabriel shows that he just can't get the job done. And that's why I say they're probably maybe towards the end of the season, maybe last 3 weeks. Dillon Gabriel at some point, teams are going to force him. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. We're not going to allow QJ to run up and down the field. They're going to stack 9 in the box. You're going to have to prove that you can beat us with your arm.
Because if Shedeur steps in and looks competent, then everyone else looks incompetent. And in the NFL, that's a fate worse than losing. It's accountability. So instead, we get excuses. The staff talks about comfort zones, fitting the system, and maximizing personnel. That's coach speak for. We'd rather lose safely than win dangerously. It's the NFL equivalent of driving 20 miles per hour because the GPS said there might be a turn in 2 miles.
And it's not what we want to hear, but you know what? It makes sense now. Because the first few people, and when I say few, I mean 4 or 5 people that y'all put in front of the media when y'all ask about Shedeur, other than saying, I don't know or no, you actually gave a thought out plan that we can go with. We understand that he's a second string. We understand that he didn't come into the season a second string, but at least be a professional and give us a plan on how you plan on developing him if you're going to be asked these types of questions.
And the funniest part, Rees keeps name dropping his experience. Notre Dame, Alabama, as if prestige automatically fixes dysfunction. Those are college powerhouses where talent oozes out of the locker room. But let's give him some credit. Rees did drop a few hints. When he talked about making the final decisions and having final say, you could practically hear the tension.
I was texting with some people in the league, hey, why aren't you going to draft Shadur Sanders? Or like, maybe you should draft Shadur Sanders. Just like I was telling them, right? And there were a couple things I got back. Number one, and this happens all the time, the attention that they would get in the locker room for someone who's going to be a backup, for some of these places with nailed on quarterbacks where we know, hey, this guy's going to start and it's going to be years until there's going to be an opportunity to be a starter. They just don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback room when you bring in guys who command that attention. So it's like, it's risk averse, right? Fine, whatever, I understand that. The other part of it is, and I think this was the bigger thing, there were teams that didn't do any work on Shadur Sanders because they didn't think he was going to be available in the 4th round.
Because nothing says confidence like reminding everyone that you technically have authority you're too scared to use. It's like a substitute teacher telling the class they could hand out detentions, but won't, because they want everyone to like them. At this point, Shadeur's reps are probably stored next to the team's postseason hopes, somewhere deep in the archives under maybe next year.
So is this a big deal? You guys let me know in the comments the other day. Kevin Stefanski told reporters that backup quarterback Shadur Sanders does not take any reps with the first team offense during practice throughout the week. All first-team reps are handled by Dillon Gabriel. He said this was different when Gabriel was the QB2 behind Joe Flacco. Dillon would take first-team reps during practice when Flacco was the starter. So I've seen both sides of the argument here. I've seen that, yes, Dillon Gabriel is a rookie quarterback, you want him taking all of the first team reps in practice. He needs as many reps as possible.
But what's the real reason Shedeur isn't getting reps? It's not a strategy, it's politics, it's fear. It's a team so desperate to appear in control that they're afraid to actually change anything. Because if Shedeur steps in and lights it up, the whole "we just need time" narrative goes up in flames. And some very comfortable people lose their comfort. Now here's the real question. How long before Cleveland finally wakes up and gives Shedeur the shot he deserves? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because this saga's just getting started.